The Sunday school lesson for April 21st, 2024 is Healing on the Sabbath, Luke chapter 6, verses 1 through 11. To the viewers and subscribers, welcome and welcome back to my channel, The Backstory and More. I am Audrey. If you are new here, please know that I will share the backstory, read the lesson text, and offer a brief lesson summary. The backstory takes us to Luke chapter 5, verses 33 through 39. Jesus questioned about fasting. They said to him, John's disciples often fast and pray, and so do the disciples of the Pharisees. But yours go on eating and drinking. Jesus answered, Can you make the friends of the bridegroom fast while he is with them? But the time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them. In those days they will fast. He told them this parable. No one tears a piece out of a new garment to patch an old one. Otherwise, they will have torn the new garment, and the patch from the new will not match the old. And no one pours new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the new wine will burst the skins. The wine will run out, and the wineskins will be ruined. No, new wine must be poured into new wineskins. And no one, after drinking old wine, wants the new, for they say the old is better. The backstory ends and the lesson begins. Verse 1, And it came to pass on the second Sabbath after the first, that he went through the cornfields, and his disciples plucked the ears of corn, and did eat, rubbing them in their hands. Verses 2 through 4, And certain of the Pharisees said unto them, Why do ye that which is not lawful to do on the Sabbath days? And Jesus answering them said, Have ye not read so much as this, what David did when himself was an hungered, and they which were with him? How he went into the house of God, and did take and eat the shew bread, and gave also to them that were with him, which it is not lawful to eat, but for the priests alone. Verses 5 through 6, And he said unto them, That the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. And it came to pass also on another Sabbath, that he entered into the synagogue and taught. And there was a man whose right hand was withered. Verses 7 through 8, And the scribes and Pharisees watched him, whether he would heal on the Sabbath day, that they might find an accusation against him. But he knew their thoughts, and said to the man which had the withered hand, Rise up, and stand forth in the midst. And he arose and stood forth. Verses 9 through 10, Then said Jesus unto them, I will ask you one thing. Is it lawful on the Sabbath days to do good, or to do evil, to save life, or to destroy it? And looking round about upon them all, he said unto the man, Stretch forth thy hand. And he did so, and his hand was restored whole as the other. Verse 11, And they were filled with madness, and communed one with another what they might do to Jesus. A brief summary. The ritualistic practices of the Pharisees provided another point of contention. According to Jewish tradition, Moses ascended Mount Sinai to receive the law on a Thursday and returned on Monday. Hence, the Pharisees observed those days as fast days. Chapter 18, verse 12. Jesus responded with his illustration of the bridegroom, a new garment and new wine. His point was that the gospel should not be forced into the ritualistic mode of Judaism. The biggest hot button issue, however, was how Sabbath days should be observed. This was obvious when Jesus' disciples plucked some heads of grain and ate them to stave off hunger. According to tradition, this was harvesting grain on the Sabbath. Following that, Jesus healed a man whose right hand was shriveled. Again, healing was work traditionally forbidden on the Sabbath. Jesus did not answer by dismissing their concerns as trivial or their interpretation of the law as unnecessarily restrictive. Instead, he used the opportunity to proclaim who he was. The phrases Son of Man and Lord of the Sabbath were unmistakably claims of deity. Not surprisingly, the Pharisees were furious. Join me soon for the next backstory and more. Stay safe.